Good morning. Welcome to the show. This is Employment Opportunities, and I'm your host, Randy Clark. And if you happen to miss the show this morning, you can always go to the WIL Facebook page, or if you want a review, you can go to YouTube, WIL TV 47 Employment Opportunities. Now today, we have a super special guest with us. We have Mr. Johnathon and Miss Tara Douglas. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank
Glad
you.
to be here.
These are two of our newest business people in Sylacauga. And Jonathan, I'll start with you first. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've always thought it was interesting how some of the hardest questions to answer could be the simplest things.
Right.
I'm from Hoover originally, from Bluff Park area. Went to W.A. Berry High School, which does not exist anymore, which shows you a little bit about our age.
Right.
Graduated engineering, textile engineering at Auburn. Went and studied medical microbiology for a little while at Samford. Went to a PhD program for a little while at UAB. And then Tara and I decided that chiropractic was actually our point of interest and our future career. And so it's kind of been a meandering path of that, but we moved to Washington State. We've had a practice in Washington State for almost 18 years, and then we have just sold that practice and moved back to Sylacauga.
Well, thank you for coming back to Sylacauga.
Glad
We're
to be
so
here.
glad to have you. And Tara, tell us about yourself.
Well, I grew up here in Sylacauga and graduated from Sylacauga High School in '93, and after that also went to Auburn, and I graduated in textile chemistry there and worked in Columbus, Georgia for Callaway Chemical Company for 2 years when I graduated. And
Okay.
that's when a lot of that textile industry was moving to Central and South America, and I saw the writing on the wall that if I didn't want to travel all the time or potentially move out of the country, that I should look for other things to do. So I ended up going back to school, and Jonathan and I were both in that medical research program, and research was not for me. I need to talk to people. So.
Right.
Ended up in chiropractic college, and we graduated from University of Western States in Portland, Oregon, and ended up staying in the Northwest, but we're glad to be back home now.
Okay, great. I'm going to get a little personal now. How about some pets? I know we got pets.
We do. We've worked in animal rescue for a while, so we've had lots of pets over the years, but we have 3 cats and 3 dogs right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your parents?
Ted and Shirley Spears, so yeah, we're back home with my parents again,
Okay.
so happy to be here.
Okay. Tell us about this new business y'all gonna open.
We're excited about the building, number one. We have an old building, old house problem, I would say. So we've always owned houses that are from the 20s through the 50s, but mainly 20s. And so we found this building on Broadway, the old Mac and Ted's building, and it fit us perfectly because we love that era.
Right.
And so we have gone a little overboard on restoring portions of it because we love the old look. And so when you come by and see it, you're going to see that there's a combination of 20s, there's a combination of through mid-century architecture and furniture, but we are real excited about Mac and Ted's building because people are so excited about Mac and Ted's building. I never went. Tara, of course, had
I
the
did,
experience.
Yeah, we all
Of
went
being
there.
there.
didn't we?
And so many people have stories about Mac and Ted's.
So
It's-
much history there.
Yeah.
And I'm glad y'all are bringing it back.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what made you want to go into your field? Either one.
Well, that's a bit of a long story, but
We got time.
I had injured my knees and my ankles with running, and I was taking a golf class while I was working for Callaway Chemical in Columbus, and a chiropractor came by and talked to us, and I had no idea that chiropractors worked on anything but the spine.
Right.
And so I was intrigued, and I decided to go in to see him, and it helped me a lot. So I started seeing him regularly, but it never even crossed my mind that I would want to be a chiropractor. I had really no idea what all chiropractors did. And so when we were in that medical research program and we decided that wasn't for us, Jonathan mentioned to me, hey, you love your chiropractor, why don't you go and talk to him and see what he says about it? And I did, and so it began. I started applying for chiropractic college and got there, and it was a lot more to do with chiropractic than I realized. You know, it's there's a lot of different specialties and different techniques that you can do.
Right. What an amazing story.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you got hurt, but I'm glad that y'all done it and y'all bringing your
It was all for the
business.
better.
Right, y'all bringing your business here to Sylacauga. All right. What education is involved in actually becoming a chiropractor? Jonathan?
So, yeah, chiropractors are required to have a bachelor's degree, so Bachelor of Science typically. And then there's a 4-year chiropractic college, which is the same number of hours as medical school. It's just that when medical doctors transition to pharmaceuticals, chiropractic students transition to manual therapies. So it's the same period of time that you're in school and the same kind of training. The first 2 years are pretty much identical medical school versus chiropractic.
Okay.
You take the same kind of classes.
Okay. What made y'all decide at this time to come back to Silicaga?
We really wanted to be, all along we knew we'd end up back in Alabama at some point. We're more, Jonathan was saying last night, we're more Alabama than Washington.
It's just a matter of deciding when, right?
Yeah, and we knew
right.
we'd retire here, but as we were in the Northwest longer and longer, we wanted to get back home sooner and sooner. And we had our 10-year plan, then we had our 5-year plan, and then the pandemic hit, and we're like, what are we doing? We need to be back home. And so we started, but it's tough to sell a practice and to transition back to basically reinvent yourself and start another business. But we got the ball rolling, and here we are. We were able to get here.
We're so glad to have you here. All right. Now, tell us about where this office is going to be at. Where's it located at?
So
I know it's the old Mike and Tell, but for the viewers that don't know, tell us about it.
Okay, so we're on Broadway, and we're in between.
We're in between La Costa and Charlie's.
Okay.
There's the old Papa John's building's in between us and La Costa, but we're at 211 North Broadway.
211 North Broadway, Silicaga, Alabama. Okay. Now, what is the approximate date? Then give me a date or month, week that y'all plan on opening your business.
Well, construction is a mess, and construction during a pandemic is a mess, and
Understandable.
construction now with lead times is a mess. So we are hoping that we're open in May. But
Okay.
we've had ceiling tile problems and flooring problems and roof problems, and we have the greatest team working with us, and so the contractors have been amazing and everybody's adapted. But we were hoping May 1st. We're thinking it's going to be sometime in May is what we're saying right now.
It is an awful time to try to get contractors right now because they're so booked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What in school, we're getting more towards what I want you to tell people that might want to become a chiropractor. I don't know if you've got to watch the show much, but Jimmy Dale does a thing every morning, almost every morning, with Star Student of the Month. And you will be surprised how many children say they want to be a chiropractor.
Really?
So what would you say someone that's in high school and they want to be, they're looking at being a chiropractor, what do they really need to concentrate on as far as education goes?
You'd probably be surprised that we talk to patients about this all the time. And we talk to prospective students about it. We've always been a teaching facility, so we've had 7 doctors over the years that we've trained in our clinic, and we've had, I don't know how many students that have gone forward planning to go to chiropractic college.
Okay.
And so the first thing I always tell people is that one of the worst things you can do is think about pre-med as your degree. And the reason is that if you're going into a professional school, like medical school or dental school or whatever, if you graduate with a pre-med degree, your only option is to go to that school. And if you don't make that goal happen, you essentially have a degree that does not allow you to have a job in life. And so my experience has been that my engineering degree has helped me open doors, and I could have gotten a job, and I could still get a job doing something else if the professional side hadn't happened. And Tara's chemistry degree, the same thing. So I always tell students, it's great that you have that ambition, and it's very hard to get into these things, and it's a very long road to do it, but to plan on having a backup plan that will get you where you need to go.
Okay.
But you definitely have biology, have chemistry, have physics, have all of those science courses that you have to have in an undergraduate setting to get into something like chiropractic college. So, focusing on that to see if that's what you like, and that's what you'd like to do. But you also have to be able to talk to people, and you have to be able to write reports. So, you wouldn't think about focusing on English and things like that. That's really important. You got to be able to communicate with other people in your field.
Skills.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have a name for what your practice is going to be yet?
It's Broadway Spinal Care.
Broadway Spinal Care. 211 Broadway,
211 North Broadway.
Silicaga, Alabama.
that's it.
Okay. Now, that's a big building.
Yeah, it is.
I know your office isn't going to take up the whole building. Do y'all have plans for the rest of the building?
So half
Talk about
of
it.
the building's going to be the chiropractic side, and then I also got certified to teach Pilates a few years ago. So I'll have my Pilates room, and I'll do some individual sessions with people, and have all the Pilates equipment and some very small classes I could do. And then we've got the front of the building that Jonathan can share.
So I also love doing scrap metal art, sculpture, and so I'd like to have a gallery space. I was in a gallery in Vancouver, Washington, and so I'm moving this stuff down here. So we thought about having a kind of a community art gallery up in the front. We have those beautiful ceilings that were with the McIntyre's building. We were able to restore them and save them in the front, and so we have this amazing community art space, and we're going to make that dovetail in with the Marble Festival and bring some sculptors and local artists in and have things on display.
Fantastic. That
Yeah.
sounds so exciting.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Okay, now let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about what we got going on in town right now. And I know y'all are so involved and we really appreciate it. You know, the Marble Festival is really what I'm referring to. And it couldn't go on without people like you. So tell us about a little bit about what we got happening the rest of the week.
Okay, we've got, so we have our visiting sculptors here, and there are over 20 sculptors that are still down there carving. We have a few that have had to go home now because this festival lasts 2 weeks. And we have our visiting Italian sculptor. So I invite everybody in the city to come down and see Francesco Bassini Gazzi work on his piece. And we've got a couple of local people that sculpt, and a lot of our sculptors are from the Southeast, and they're down there and get a big piece of marble, and by the time they leave, they have something beautiful. And they all have a lot of their art for sale in the library sale room. So in the high tower room in the library, we've got wonderful volunteers, one of which is Mr. Randy Clark here. We have some people out at the site that can tell you what's going on. And Frank Murphy, who grew up here in Sylacauga and lives in Rome, Georgia now, he has made some beautiful pieces for the library. And he's also an artist. He paints murals and other things, and
Frank is so special.
He is, and he's doing a talk at 10 o'clock this morning at the library. So everyone's welcome to come to the talk, and he always does a fabulous job when he's talking to everybody.
does.
So I'm excited about hearing him today.
I don't think people in Sylacauga realize the resource that we have there, and the people that are out there sculpting, often they have documentaries that have been made about them.
Dude.
I mean, these people, we work with them just driving them around, and like I took the Italian bass fishing one day, and I mean, all those kind of things, and so we see them in a very different light, and we get to know them personally. But when you really see the presentations they give, these are world-class artists that we have out in a field right now that are doing amazing things. And so for the community to support that and to realize that that is there and be kind of in awe of who we can attract and the marble that we have and what it does for the city.
Exactly. You know, I'm really amazed. I love it down there. You know, Jimmy Dale and Chris and Robert, they let me do this. I'm no broadcaster. I never said I was, and I don't plan to be. They are nice enough to let me do this show, and one of the reasons I do this show is I promote my litter. So, but the visitors that's coming down, and I'm so amazed. You know, last week we started Tuesday with a marble festival, and they picked them out a piece of marble and set it on a stand. Well, for a couple of days, really that's all you could see. But this week, they're starting to take shape.
It's amazing.
And you can actually see about what their vision was sculpting. And all of them are amazing. They all love to talk to people. And I'm fascinated by this Marble Festival. I will continue to be part of this Marble Festival from now on.
That's
I love
great.
it. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
Y'all know the best thing I do is talk.
And that's what we need out there.
That's right. That's right. All right. We can't go without talking about you helping me on the litter campaign.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed picking up litter.
Well,
And
thank you so much. If it wasn't for the volunteers doing this, you know, it's like I like to say, when we're out doing that, it's not all about picking up the litter. It's also about showing people that we care. There is somebody trying, you know. And that makes a big difference.
It does,
You know?
yeah.
Besides, we get a little litter picked up too.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also showing people that we care, just so if we can, when traffic's going by, if one or two people decide not to throw that empty water bottle
It was a
or
success.
whatever litter they might have after we've accomplished our goal.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you.
I love
Thank you for
y'all to
having
death.
us.
Right.
We appreciate it.
And
Appreciate it.
thank you for being involved in the Marble Festival. Thank you for helping me pick up litter and everything else y'all do. And y'all are well involved in the community, and you just got here, so we sure appreciate it. And good luck on the practice. I know. Can I come do some Pilates?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
expect it of you.
All right, and thank y'all for choosing the old Mike and Ted. There's so much history there. So 211 North Broadway,
You got it.
Correct.
we can't wait for them to come. All right, thank y'all for coming,
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
and we'll see you next week.